All right, where are we? We're in the 2022 Summer Major, so it's Tuesday's qualifying round. I haven't actually even played these holes yet. I haven't practiced anything. My teammate Kyle sent me videos for not quite all the holes, but he's been able to pick up something on every hole, so he's been got him down. I haven't watched his videos yet. I'm gonna watch them because I want to see like the how I played it and like what direction he came from and see what the deal is. But I'm going to go out there before I look at anything or do anything. I just want to go look at the holes myself and then start doing some research to see like where I can get better. So here we go. Hole number one. Hole number one. What is hole number one? I think this is hole number one. So just looking at the image, we're either going through this way because we're shorter in this area depending on where our red lines are, and then trying to bring it down this way with curl. And this actually might work better because it's flowing towards the right, whereas here we're trying to bring it back up, and now we've got the sand trap in the way. So we'll have to see where our red lines are. I'm not sure if you can get on. I'm gonna bring a Titan to this dogfight. If I can get a good connection. Maybe. So this will be my first time out on them. First look at them ever. And then we'll start doing some research to see like where we can get better. I'm curious to see like where the red line is. Oh yeah. I got a 4 power ball. Yeah, I think you can go over there and not have to do any overpower and just curl it around. This is going to be one of those blind curl shots, so you're going to have to kind of know what kind of spin to put on it, because it looks like the green drops down on the backside, and so if your ball comes in with any speed, it's just going to fall off the back. At least that's what it looks like here. It looks like there's a little teeny bit of a bowl coming up to the cup, and then it's downhill on the backside. And as far as 3 power balls go, it'd probably be better with a Titan. No, it's uphill. Amazing. Amazing. Let's switch up to an extra mile. I'll put one top spin on it. See what that does. I'm going to do a blind curl shot from here. So I'm like 2.5 rings off. It's 2.1 per ring, so it's about a ring and a quarter. I'm going to do a little over a ring and a quarter. Max curl. Hitting it perfect. And we'll see, number one, if our trajectory is right, if I need to go in or out with max curl, and then number two, what kind of distance we got. So I can come in 2 rings off and bring that in, and my distance was really good right there with one spin. Normally if I'm doing a max curl shot, I usually start off, I always leave myself 2 rings of separation, but if I'm doing a max curl shot, I'll usually start at 3, and then I'll maybe cheat it to like 2.5, 2 2/3. But that one right there, either what I need to do is I need to either switch to an APOC where I've got more curl. I can leave myself a little separation down there, or I need to pinch it with the extra mile. Extra mile. Let's see how it rolls. From this distance, wind might be a factor. We'll see. Hit it great to the right. In the hole. Wind was not a factor. Luckily. All right, there's hole number 1. Pretty straightforward. Hole number 2. What is hole number 2? So from where we're at on this tee, so for the pro tee, that tree's, you're either going to have to come around this way or bring it around this way. It's probably this direction. But from where we're at, we've got that tree straightforward. We can kind of go on either side and have about the same amount of movement, but I would like to start off on the right and get the hell away from that sand trap. That's the plan. Hey, if I can get a hold of my freaking... Let's pick a ball right now. I'm going to switch to a nav. A navigator. Here we go. I have no idea. And I have no calculator with me. I don't have my calculator. I don't know nothing. I'll have to just do everything in my head. I'll have to do math. Damn it. Let's see if I can do some basic math. 3 divided by 1. There's max, there's min, there's mid. Eking towards min back here. Definitely would want a ball with more side spin. Right. Three, 7. I'm just going to do 3-7 if I can get the shot off. Hitting it perfect. It's going to come in on the inside. It looked like I was going to drift off to the left. That would definitely be good with one of those, with a ball that's got more side spin. I suppose I could have pushed it forward a little bit more, but I think there's a certain spot where you'll clip the trees, like you can't get too far forward, but my opponent seems to have a better spot. I can get underneath of him and shoot it at min. Pretty close to min. Now let's see if they do a min adjustment or a max. They just did a straight up max adjustment. Right over the cup. With that, it looks like they needed to pull just a little. All right, hole number 2 is in the bag. I'll miss my putt so I can not qualify. I want to play as many times as I can since they're brand new holes. Getting a late start on a Tuesday. We probably could have started practicing these on Sunday, maybe even Saturday. I played the 9-hole cup and then I was like, I'm done. Done. All right, hole number 3. Hole number 3. Give me a little bit of room so I can... Now, I'm not sure like what we're doing here. Like whether it's a layup and then a straight up shot. But that layup can be very, very... Just like looking at this image, that layup, if you draw a line from the pin, we'll get my pen going, from the pin out into this lane, there is a tree right here and there is a tree right here. So unless you plan on curling it and you bring some side spin and doing this to go around those trees, in order to get clear of it, you'd have to draw a line to this tree. You'd either need to get out into this zone so you're clear of the trees and have a straight up shot, or you need to land dead center right there, which is probably a pretty narrow area. One of these holes, I remember my buddy talking about, there was a really small spot to hit, and this might be the one. So let's see, we got some big distance here. So we have some options on a hole like this. If you got mid-level, low-level stuff, you're probably almost always better bringing your big topper, because you'll net more yardage with your big topper, even though, especially when you're in situations where you have to pull back from the red line, you're almost always better hitting with your big topper than you are with your extra mile. But in this situation, we're gonna probably be out at the end of our red line. I'm not sure what my second club needs to be, so I'm just going to bring that bag. It'll work if I bring it. And we'll start off with a Titan. Now let's mark a few balls. If I decide to use a Power 4 ball, and or a Power 5, but I suppose we could start with the Titan. Select. All right. And we got a little bit of a headwind, so unless I bring out a bigger ball, if I can get all the way down to the end of the drive fairway, to where the first bounce is, the extra mile will be the better club. But if I can overshoot it, and I got to pull back, the big topper. The big topper is at right now, I mean, I've got 5 or 6 clubs, epic clubs, that I'm working on, and only those 5 or 6. I'm not working on any of the rest. What's amazing is how often they come up at the same time, where I have, like, if I get an Apocalypse, it'll have a Cataclysm with it, or if I get a Hammerhead, it'll have a Cataclysm. And this might be one of those areas with a Power 3 ball, with that kind of distance, where it might be better to bring out my big topper. Although I think the angle's wrong with the trees for doing a max overpower hook, unless you were trying to go behind the trees on the tee box side and then come out into the fairway. See what distance they got. 393, they overhit it. They either need to get farther or not as far. I want to get right past that shadow. I'm going to try just 4 topspin. We'll see how that works. And I'm at plus 13. It's 1 1/4 rings, right back to the red line. Hit it 1 ring great to the right. going, keep going, keep going. I think I needed just a little teeny bit farther. And that was like 4 topspin, maybe half a bar, quarter bar more. We'll see what that lane looks like. It does look like, if you wanted to, that you could get all the way past those trees down there, but you take the risk, because you're at the very end of your run, you take the risk of bleeding off into the rough. And so you do have a great shot, but you're just in the rough. Rolling down to the green. I think I needed a little teeny bit farther, yep. Just a little. This is definitely a good backspin shot. Since I'm practicing here, just playing around. 3-5. Ah! Dagnabbit. Grab my calculator while I had to come in and turn my alarm off. Chip in to draw. Need to practice these. They keep our confidence up. I didn't hit any the other day. I think I went like 2 rounds, and if I wasn't on the fairway, it wasn't gonna happen. Just like that. My opponent beat me. What's the deal? All right. Hole number 4. What is hole number 4? Another par 3. I don't see any rough stuff. Well, I suppose we could do a rough bump off of this and try and bring it back around. Otherwise, we're going to end up just going straight at it. That's quite the bring around too, from where our tee box is. So if we draw a line from the tee box up to that point, trying to cover that angle. That's definitely got to be a 3 side step ball to start off with. Maybe. We'll see. I'll start off with a katana and then we'll see where it goes. Also looked like it was downhill. It's hard to tell on those the 2-dimensional pictures like what a hole really looks like. You look at it and you think, wow, it's not that bad, and then you get on, of course, some of these holes and you're like, holy crap. I'm gonna set up a bag for that other hole so that if I had a bag here that had a Guardian in it. Let me think. Use an extra mile on that last hole, although a big topper would work pretty well if you wanted to get, I don't know, I'm gonna switch this one up. That last hole looked like it would be better served with a Guardian. There was a lot of holes in the game when the game first started that were set up that you needed backspin. Backspin was king. Like you could come out some other way, but you might have to struggle. And then they changed the holes around. They've modified even a lot of the older par 3s and opened them up so that now its backspins actually doesn't do you any good unless you have a really good ball guy. You used to take like a Guardian out on the course and you would struggle out on the course. But if you got to the shootout, you had a market advantage. Those days are over. That's as much as I can put on it. Let's see if there's any spot. Any spot that I can find. You'd need a 4 side spin ball. You need a ball with more side spin if you wanted to do that. They do have those 3-5-5s. I'm gonna switch that up. Hey, I think I have one of those 3-power 5 side spin balls, and the 3-power might be overkill. I'm just curious to see. I'm sure you can, because I was pretty close. What I want to see somebody do is come out here with a backspin club and do the reverse rough bump off the back. The back of that looks like it comes back down, and do the reverse rough bump. Hit past the cup, hit the rough, bounce backwards with all the backspin. Get the roll down the hill. You can see there's a little berm on the back of this, so if you could hit into that rough right there and then bring it back to the cup. It's all downhill, baby. This all seems to be downhill in every direction. And do I have... get where I can actually see it. Nope. Hey. I'll have to see if somebody's figured it out. There might be a spot down there. Maybe not. Good luck in the tournament. This is what an absolutely pure practice round looks like. Hey. Thanks. Let's just go straight at it now. Now that we've established that. There's Min. There's Max. Max. Switch to a nav. Hey. Three, 1, and way downhill. I'm gonna do 3, 4. Hitting it perfect. slightly underpulled it. Put the ball to win. All right. I'll have to talk to Kyle about that one and see whether or not that rough bump is actually possible, but I wasn't getting it. And that was with a 5 sidesman ball. It looked like you could get there, but it wasn't happening for me. All right, hole number 5. Hole number 5. What is hole number 5? Par 5. So, just like it looks like we're going to be hitting down into this zone. So if we're coming from the tee box to the flag, this is our line, and we're trying to get into this area. So we're definitely on the curl shot. It depends on where our red line is. So the way that this rough is down here, you've got the way that this rough is. If we can clear on the other side so we're in this fairway, then it's a pretty easy shot. If we're over here, you know, or on the side and then we have to bring it around, there's several holes in the game that are like that. It looks like there is a shot that's out here, but if you get all the way to the tip, if you look from where the tee box is, now you're having to maneuver around this stuff at the end. So it's almost like it might be better to be in the front but be not all the way to the end, so you can kind of open up a lane if you wanted to go to the high line. There might be a rough bump if you go to the high line, because this distance here, if you come from this trajectory, you really don't have a rough bump. But if you did end up here in the high line, there might be a rough bump that you could do underneath that tree and go to the cup. Maybe. We'll see. Let's go check it out. We'll go check it out. All right, you talked me into it. Snake Doctor. I get an opponent really quick when I'm in the U.S. on the West Coast during the middle of the day. Bam! Opponent. Let's see where my opponent's red lines are with a 1 power ball. Because if we're doing a blind shot down into this zone and we're not trying to bounce out now, from where they're at, it might be possible to get bounce number 1, bounce number 2 out here towards the end and bridge the gap and end up on the other side. And you might be able to do that with a 3 power ball, because they got a 1 power ball right here. But with that wind, you'll definitely need a bigger ball than a 3, I think. Seems like a pretty short par 5. Just thinking out loud. Let's switch to a Zerk. That was our designated power 5 ball. There we go. Man, I don't think with that headwind though. The way that it's been playing lately is that these headwinds are brutal. So they've been playing on a lot of these new, especially the newer holes, the headwinds have been playing almost twice as much. So like if you got a 4.5, it's actually pushing against your ball all the way through its trajectory about 9 miles an hour. But that is definitely possible with a ball that's got some lower wind or some topspin boost or tailwind or side wind. Any other wind other than a pure headwind. And I think you'll easily be able to make it over. And that's got to be, he's with a Nirvana right there from that distance back, so that's got to be short iron range. Thank you very much. So we easily got distance. There's long iron. And so the goal is just to bleed out into this zone. Now I do have a power 5 ball. It's just to get just clear. I mean, if you can just get clear, you're in the good. That might be short iron range from there. Maybe. Because Nirvana's base is like 129. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Now I use a Kingfisher in this account. It doesn't hit very far. It only hits, I don't think it hits 100. I think it hits like 92 or 94. I'm not even sure that it hits that far. And it doesn't have a lot of topspin. Has some, not a lot. 2 rings great to the right. Just off the cuff. Perfect speed though. Good speed. Wrong trajectory. Alright, where are we at? Grizzly. Ooh, I'm almost in the short iron range. But I'm at minimum Grizzly, which is 1.4 per ring. It's 2.8. It's 2 rings. There's 2. Little. Hitting it perfect. Just a bit outside. Slightly over pulled it. That little. Should have just did the 2 rings. I know better. Anytime you're that close when you're in there, it just seems like you try and get the fractional part and you end up over pulling it. We will miss our putt. On purpose. We want to practice. We want to practice for free. So, coming in these qualification rounds. This is why it's important to have multiple accounts. You can go in on Monday. Record your own gameplay. It's important. Hole number 6. Hole number 6. I'm going to be curious to go back and watch Kyle's stuff on these and see like how many times I was in the area that he's going at it at. And we're looking at it in the same. Now there might be a rough bump on this one as well. Depends on where you, once again, it depends on where you can get on your drive. So if this is our traditional landing zone, this area coming in, we've got a T rough bump if we've got enough topspin to get there. But the question is where's our red line out here? Can we bring out a big enough ball that we can get our bounce to bridge the gap and end up on this zone? Is this a par 4? No, this must be a par 4, so it must be possible to get down there. It must be. It is a par 4. So let's bring let's once again bring a Titan, the king of balls. That's right, you heard it here. And we'll take an assortment. And we'll see what we can get done with the Titan in a little teeny bit of tailwind. Here we go. Getting out on the course. Drew goes first. Now the question is, can you get in front of that sand? Yes. Can you get in front of that? Yes. So once again, we're power 4, power 5 ball. and you can get bounce number 1, bounce number 2, clear the clear clip, and roll out into that next fairway. The question is that with a little teeny bit of tailwind, can you get it done with a power 3 ball? That's the question. You almost can't not go for that. It gives you, it looks like, I mean, you're definitely going to be in a different club. It's got to be the difference between long iron and wood. Man, it's a long ways to go. I think with this ball, 4-1. Push that wind back on. A little bit there was. Hit it 2 rings great to the right. I'm in trouble. On the second bounce right here, it's going to be deep, deep. Awesome. I was getting close to the end of the fairway run there on the right, so it's got to be another long iron shot. I mean, they're in wood struggle. It's got to be a long iron, and I don't know that the Grizzly has enough topspin. That might be a great shot for a Goliath. You can bet your bottom dollar if there's a rough bump on there with a Goliath that my buddy Kyle and Dunner are going to be all over that shot. So you can't just lay it up there where my opponent's at, and they left a lot of distance on the table. But you can get up and down, somewhat recover. Yeah, you need a big dog. There's Max. There's, man, I'm about mid-club. It's 1.2. I'm going to do a 3.6. Hitting it perfect. And that was not enough. I pulled it where it was at in its club. I probably should have just pulled 1-to-1 and then worked from there. I think in a lot of cases that's the way to go. When we have to start making a bunch of adjustments and you're at mid-club and you're doing this and you're taking off wind and you're subtracting off some points and you're doing stuff, it might be better to just start at 1-to-1 and take off 50% or add 50%. Nice. No. Give my opponent a chest. I think that gives him a chest. Helping out the community. Good luck in the tournament. Seems pretty straightforward. Hole number 7. 3 holes to go. Alright, there is definitely a rough bump on this. There is definitely. It doesn't look like you have to put on a lot of spin to get there, so I'm going to start off with a nav. And we'll see where we go. We'll see if it if the hole makes me change my tune. if we can get out on the course. Maybe. I go first. First time playing. Min. There's max. I'm about mid club, so it's 1.2 per ring at mid. Whew. Seems like it's downhill. It's 1.2. That was 3 rings. Oh my God, that was like 75,000 rings straight to the left. I'll have to go back and look at that to see. I did 3 rings. That should have been 3.6. I'm curious to know what this putt looks like from down here at the bottom of this hill, because I am not a really good putter, and I am not going to be happy about overshooting that and taking. And I really didn't like the wind angle here and having to pull over the sand as distorted as the rings were. I used the rings on the other side of the sand. I'll put my blue ring kind of dead center in the middle of that. That was a 3 ring pull. Now, even with that little teeny bit of speed, does it stop? It did. I get to do a chip. I'll do a dunk. And we'll do a chip. We'll see if this is hitting it perfect. See if it hits the flagpole. Came in on the left-hand side of the flagpole, so even that close on that particular hole, wind played a little teeny bit of a factor. I didn't feel magnanimous 2 holes in a row, so I didn't give him a chest. I didn't give back to the community. Damn rookies. All right, hold on one second. Hold on. All right, I had to talk to a man about a horse. There we go. I was bouncing. All right, this has got to be a par 4. And I'm curious, just looking at it right here before I get out there, trying to, where did my pen go? So where we can get out in this, whether we can bridge this gap or whether we're starting off over here and then bringing it around and just ending up in front. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. It's got to be a job for my number 1 or my number 5 bag, one of the 2. The truth is, you can probably play it with any bag. I kind of liked it. I like the idea of having multiple bags. I will say that. I will say it. I think this is better served with a Kingmaker. It's probably better served with the APOC as well. That's probably way overshooting it. Let's see where it goes when you do everything on it. And 2 rings to the right. The 2 rings to the right, definitely put me farther to roll through the rough, but I'm not sure that even a perfect would have made that around. I think I was a little pinched. That's where a 444 ball would come in handy, and I think I could probably take a couple of the topspin off and end up right out in front, like literally right out in front. Now this is another good way to go at it. Although the ball doesn't really, this is all about the side spin, so the ball doesn't really do you any good on the second shot. You would think that they would have set that up with max curl. I think when they were pulling it out, they were thinking max curl, but they didn't do. All right, we have a straight up win. I'm going to hedge my bet. Hit it perfect. Right where I was aiming. I was trying to give myself a great to the left and a perfect. The perfect worked. I'm not sure if the great to the left would have. Alright, we have some opportunities to get through there. I think the deal with that drive is I like some of the shots we're taking here on this course so far, where we've been doing some of these blind curl shots. I was talking about bags earlier, and the thing about it is as a player out here, you have different bags in your collection, or clubs in your collection. It's like, wow, I'm on a hole that my really accurate stuff would work on. I think it's cool in that perspective, but on the flip side of the coin, there's also some coolness for the game when you walk out there on the course and what you brought with you is the only thing you got access to. And so like in tournaments where you have to declare a bag, and maybe you can switch the bag between rounds, like you can go, wow, that club did not work out, but there's going to be those holes that like you need a big dog. Like if you don't have a big dog, you're at a decided disadvantage, but that big dog sucks on 3 of the other holes. And so do you figure out how to use it on all those holes? So I like having a bag that we declare. But back in the day when we only had one bag, let me tell you, you had to commit to learning how to use that club. Now you can just bring out that club situationally. Okay, this will be a good shot for it. Hole number 9. All right, what is hole number 9? Big far away. So, man, I don't see making it over the river, but maybe. So, I mean, if we're not making it over the river, then that means that we're coming out into this area and trying to come in this way. So we'll have to see. I mean, those are really our only 2 options, because why the hell would you lay up here if you draw your arc when you left this entire fairway out on the playing field? So, I mean, really, we're either here or here. Those are our shots. And I don't think we can make it over. It doesn't look like it. What ball do I got? Hold on. Let me grab a little thing so the freaking game will work. We'll bring out a Kingmaker. I think that might work better. If we have to go to the fairway to the right, it'll definitely work better. The wind's blowing to the right, or to the left, excuse me. The fairway to the left, and the wind's blowing to the left. Get that shit straight. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Hole number 9. Let's roll. First time I've ever looked at them. Haven't picked up anything yet. But now I'll go back through. I'm going to watch Kyle's video so that I can see how he's coming at him and see which way I came at him. And there's got to be, most of the holes are probably the same as far as approach. Wow. The big power 5 ball, you might be able to make it over. I'm not sure as far as arc wise. I'm at the +5 mark. And I got on 6 topspin. Let's see if that's too much. 3.7. Should be 2.5 rings. Max curl. Hitting it perfect. We'll see how far I can bleed up that. I could have put on all of the rest of the topspin. Now there is a spot out there that you could potentially hit too far and actually make yourself, even though you got longer on the drive, you're actually farther from the cup. But on that trajectory that I was on, I had plenty of room in front of me. Let's see if they bring out a big power ball. No, they're going to hit it over as well. And they're short shooting it. And they're on the inside. Man, that's going to be super close. Very nice. Very nice. 375. Picked up a lot. There's Max. There's Min. So I'm at Min Club. It's 1.3 per ring. It's 2.6. That leaves me 4. It's about 2 1/3 rings. Oh, and I knew I hit it late. I was getting rushed by the clock. I glanced up at it and over pulled it, but I hit it great. I hit it great. Who knows? Who knows where it was? I think if you could get over to that pad over there, you would be in long iron range. But you definitely have to have the right wind and the right ball. And hitting it perfect wouldn't hurt. It always cracks me up when people eyeball it. I have no freaking clue how they're figuring out. I got this game in March of 2017 and started playing, and I was on vacation. When I came home, that was the first thing and at that point there was nothing. Like Tommy was it. There was very little out there about the clubs or about doing a thing, and right at that time is when the wind ring method came out, and I was all over that because I would not have continued playing if you had to eyeball it, or you couldn't get, some accuracy. What's the sense in having an accurate club if you're eyeballing all of this shit? All right, that was just a minimum score round, even though my score probably is less than minimum score. That was just a minimum score round. I actually should have paid more attention to where I was at. I must have dropped enough shots that I'm not going to qualify. I hope. I wasn't paying attention. That's a rookie move right there. Now, if a 7 qualifies, that would just be amazing. Okay. 7 will not qualify. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Well, they could drop shots. People could drop shots, so we got a 14 at the top already. There's plenty of opportunities to pick up shots out there. I mean, every hole. It seems like the holes are really short. So we'll have to see. All right, that was my first round at it. Now I'll go back. Now I'll go watch Kyle's stuff and see what he did, so I can get some numbers. They're really good about trying to. My goal is to try and figure out how to play these holes, and their goal is to figure out how to get the shot in. That's the deal, and they're much better at it than me. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have fun in the major.